So it's called 10 Promises I Make to Myself, or how I compensate for never before making resolutions. 10 promises I make to myself as the new year approaches, or how I compensate for never before making resolutions. At the beginning of New Year's, I was so confident in my ability to not follow them that I never even tried. How could I, with examples of people who failed in the form of fat people right in front of me? Number 1. Have my whiskey with Pepsi. Yes, I understand that people who have class drink it with soda, but fuck the compartmentalization of people, whiskey is an emotion. I like my blender Sprite with Pepsi, and that is how I will have it. I have failed on various occasions to be a perfect son, perfect person, perfect friend. So understand when I'm okay with living if I don't meet your criterion of what the perfect whiskey lover is. Number 2. Dance. I'm not going to dance in all the parties or all the stages where I stood awkwardly in corners with jealous eyes watching people who don't freeze up in front of other people or in front of music. I will walk through my fears into the center stage and dance like nobody is watching, even if everybody is. Not how I used to on school trips when I wanted people to think I'm fun, but how I really want to. Number 3, don't stand up. Growing up, I was not the funny kid. I still am not. Like, they call me buzzkill. I don't get along with funny people. But I want to walk on that stage, hold that mic, and look into the eyes of people in front of me and talk about humor, music, poetry, love, fear, politics. I've always, on a number of occasions, on margins of notebooks and comment sections of old WordPress blogs, written pieces I call poetry and comedy. I imagined I was Carlin touring the world with my incredibly special specials, calling a spade and making people think. But every time I thought about what I'd written, I threw it away. Not because it wasn't funny, but because people told me I wasn't. Number 4, not be mediocre. I think I'm destined for great things. I'll probably change the world. Validation in terms of meaningless statistics that I know are meaningless have confirmed that belief. Yet I find myself constrained by constraints I have created that bind me to the status of a mere mortal. Perhaps this year I will write not mediocre on my palm so that my destiny will understand my dreams and myself, my ambition. Number 5, stop lying, start crying. I'm a freak who ends up in tears every time I see people fall in love in life and in movies. For heaven's sake, I watched 2 States twice and cried 4 times. I'm a softie with a mean streak. It's time I embrace the fact that it's okay for me to cry when I'm happy, or when I see that Krish is in love with Ananya, they're going to marry after discovering all barriers. Or perhaps when I see a truck coming over me and drunk seniors who want to crush my very soul. Number 7, buy my Manchester United jersey. I don't know how I haven't done it yet. I love them like I've never loved anything. But it's hard to explain to parents who grew up in relative poverty because of circumstance and who lived through it because of my education that I really need a t-shirt that's cost 4,000 bucks. When my dad, who buys me suits worth 20 grand, has never worn a shirt that cost 1/10 of my new Kindle. Number 8, wait to fall in love. I'm a cynic desperately in love with the idea of falling in love, of finding a girl whose eyes are so much more interesting than her cleavage. Of course, I've been in love before, with ideas, with women, with conversations, and I cannot wait to fall in love again. To have a violin some nice song in my head as I obsessively write poetry about this one girl who I will never confess my love to, because it's perhaps too hard to expect myself to do great things. Number 8, not be afraid of how afraid I am. Of how I still can't look at that small door towards the mess, or how every time I look in the mirror I really wished I hadn't. Or how I really wish to go up to that one person and talk to them, but I can't because I just can't. Or how I really wished I could stand up for what I felt was right, like everybody I loved did. Number 9, buy a zipper. I don't smoke, but I'm fascinated by the flame coming from that steel box. And I also do everything I really want to do, irrespective of how silly other people think it is. Number 10, buy my typewriter. A guy called Ronak sells them. I've always wanted one. they're beautiful, I've never had one. Perhaps because they're beautiful. But would I then not become one of those pretentious poets with a typewriter, the ones I always make fun of? Perhaps. I just promised myself that I will have the courage to do what I really want to do, and then deal with the consequences that will follow. For what is life if log kya kahenge is more important than what I want to do. That's the poem. But the bigger idea again here, I'm trying to combine the two bits that I have because I see other people who really want to perform. So the idea is, this is the last bit. So this is about why Kenny Sebastian deserves to die. Okay, so I hate people who play the guitar. Like there's a lot of this is perhaps the worst place for me to be, but I absolutely despise people who play the guitar. Okay, so in my school, like you have music period in 6th grade. Like there's a lot of people from my school here, so like till class 5 you're used to being good at everything. Okay, like maths में numbers होते हैं, English में alphabet होता है, so you're like okay, I'm good at everything. Like मैं painting class में painting भी करता हूँ. I can't hear you. Yeah, that's a huge problem, right? Perhaps. So so how it went for me was like I was used to being good at everything, and then I go to 6th grade, I go to music class, and I'm sitting in the corner and I see people who actually know how to play a guitar, right? They're sitting there, they're strumming. I'm like, then I asked my teacher to teach me. Like he's like, after 2 periods, he's like, "Beta, तुमसे नहीं होएगा, तुम violin बजाओ, तुमसे नहीं होएगा." I'm like, "Sir, let me try." Like, no, you go. I'm like, okay, like this is the primary reason why I hate people, right? Okay, who play the guitar. Like there's a poem around it called "शायद मैं कवि नहीं हूँ," which also describes why I hate people who play the guitar. But I'll not go there. Yeah. So the idea is, okay, so I can't play the guitar, but guitars are awesome. Okay, every time I do something nice, a guitar riff plays in my head. And imagine doing something that you're thinking, okay, and the one thing you can't do, playing in your head every time you do something you really want to do. And that's happened to me for 18 years. And I'm doing that, I'm living through life, like somehow going through life. And then comes along Kenny Sebastian. Kenny Sebastian is a good looking guy. He's 6 feet tall. He has long hair. Like I still can't grow a beard, and that guy has had long hair for 2 years. That guy plays the guitar. That guy also does stand-up. That guy also has a Harley. Like so everything I can't do, Kenny Sebastian does, and does really, really well. Like I'm still haunted by dreams of like not playing the guitar and other people like just sitting there like, yeah, guitar. And like I'm like, okay, I can't do that. And Kenny, so like you're okay when there's like one thing you can't do, okay, right? So everybody wanted to play like either play cricket or football or basketball, right? So you're okay, you can't be Sachin. Like there's one Sachin in the world. Like there's one Beckham, there's one Jordan. But like there's 13 people in this room who can play the guitar. Yeah, like this is not the Sachin everybody aims to be though. Like no offense, but like you're just a Sachin that exists. Like yeah, like nobody gives a like shit. So like that's the idea, right? Like I grew up and all my friends could play the guitar, right? All my friends played the guitar, beatbox, did all the cool things. Like I wrote poetry. Nobody gives a shit about poetry. Like the one thing, another thing that's in your head, right? Okay, people who play the guitar get chicks. I'm like, okay, yaar, wo bhi nahi ho raha hai. Like life sucks. Nothing's going to work out in life. Then I see Kenny Sebastian. Okay, I'm a stand-up nerd. I've seen almost every stand-up video by an Indian comedian that's on the internet. And this guy has long hair, looks good, and can also play the guitar. Like stand-up bhi karta hai, man, mere se nahi hota. Music bhi bajata hai, mere se nahi hota. Has long hair. I've been trying to get my hair to grow for so long, it's just not happening. And Kenny Sebastian like is a personification of everything I hate about mankind. And for that reason, I think Kenny Sebastian deserves to die. Okay, so like small bits of pieces like that I do. Okay, so Kenny Sebastian also like he once drove for this Weekender. He drove on a Harley from Bangalore to Pune, and then went there, did stand up on the Weekender stage, and then went ahead and did music on the Weekender stage. And like, and I'm watching him on Facebook, like, yeah, going to Weekender on my Harley, performing at Weekender, and I'm like, bro, like, that's like the biggest reason I hate Kenny Sebastian.